Thomas is a criminologist and was a child protection expert with Surrey Police. Thank you for joining us. We have this case coming to a conclusion today. We have the death of Keanu Williams, whose treatment was missed by some of the services in Birmingham. People might wonder whether more of these crimes are happening. Is it a new kind of crime?
Good evening, Eddie. Well, certainly as far as reporting of these crimes, I think those have increased. There is gone is the idea that the home is somewhere that is secret and things take place. People are far more likely to report these things now. And indeed, the Crown Prosecution Service and the police have improved their quality of investigations, and they're taking cases to court. And indeed, there's far greater media coverage. Let's be very clear, these offences that are occurring now that are being reported were occurring 10, 15 years ago. What we need to do is we need to focus on why they're still occurring. This concept that we learn lessons after serious case reviews is a phrase that has no meaning anymore, because we clearly aren't learning lessons. And if we look at the scenarios within Birmingham City Council, which has been under special measures for a number of years now, why are they still failing to safeguard those of the most vulnerable? And we have to ask the question, if we can't safeguard those children that we know about, then what is the hope for those children that we don't know about?
Is Birmingham a particularly special case? The serious case review into the death of Keanu Williams is the 23rd to be published in Birmingham since 2006.
Birmingham has a slight uniqueness in terms of its metropolitan size. That said, there are a number of other local authorities that fall into the same bracket. They have had real problems of leadership and management, and those have been identified, and they've really failed to tackle those. I think the problem is that there are some very good social workers operating on the ground. I think where the changes need to be made is in middle management. Middle management, the interims in regards to particularly in Birmingham, where they have a huge turnover of staff. And what we've got to do is start holding people to account. Those people that hold professional roles, whether it be children's services, police, or the Crown Prosecution Service, when they fail, we need to bring them to book. Now that may be that we don't ever have that individual working within children's services again, but we have to start saying people need to be held accountable. These are children's lives. We can't play with them, and we need to make sure the decisions we're making are appropriate and safeguarding children.
What about other agencies? Do they learn lessons? The police, for example, the Crown Prosecution Service?
Well, I think we need to take them all in the same bracket, really. I think it's very easy to single out children's services, particularly when, of course, we have a significant failings like this. But serious case reviews, and certainly the most recent ones, have identified both failings within police and health organisations. And if we look in particular with Hamzah, we have to say, why was a child between the ages of 2 and 4 being in a position whereby they could be not noticed? I mean, what is the issue? We need to look at and say, is there a time bracket which is most vulnerable for children? They have the initial care, they have the initial looked after in regard to health visitor, but prior to joining school, what is then happening to them and who's going into this house? And I think we need to be far more positive in terms of the approach we take to these people, and we need to be saying to those social workers and to those police officers, if you have the slightest concern, we have to put the child's welfare first, not the parent, not the family, the child's welfare. And if that means taking the child out of that environment in order to do assessment, we have to do that.
Mark Williams-Thomas, thank you. We'll talk about